Welcome back to Stamps Old World UK, the ultimate channel for anyone passionate about rare, historic, and beautifully crafted stamps from Britain and beyond. Today, we are about to explore a true classic in the philatelic world, the 1957 Jubilee Jamboree 4D blue stamp, an eye-catching commemorative piece that celebrates not only royal heritage but also the proud history of the global scouting movement. This stamp features a stunning image of Queen Elizabeth II surrounded by soaring swifts, the year 1957, and the words, Jubilee Jamboree, boldly displayed underneath. With its vibrant design and historical roots, this stamp remains one of the most sought-after commemorative issues of the mid-20th century. But how much is this stamp worth in today's market, especially in US dollars? Whether you're a curious newcomer or a seasoned collector, this video will guide you through its current market value, collector interest, condition grading, and investment potential. Let's begin with the historical context. The Jubilee Jamboree of 1957 marked the 50th anniversary of the Boy Scout movement, originally founded by Lord Baden-Powell in 1907. The event was celebrated with grandeur in Sutton Park, Birmingham, attracting scouts from all corners of the world. To commemorate this momentous occasion, the British Postal Service issued a special 4-pence stamp that combined two significant themes: the strength of the British monarchy, embodied by the elegant portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II, and the unity and growth of the international scouting community. The stamp is not just a piece of postage, it's a symbol of history, celebration, and international brotherhood. Its royal blue background, framed by a flight of stylized birds and a central medallion of the Queen, captures a powerful moment in both British and global history. When it comes to the current market value of the 1957 Jubilee Jamboree stamp, several key factors influence its worth: condition, whether it is mint or used, rarity of presentation formats such as first-day covers, and market demand among collectors. In today's stamp market, a used copy of the Jubilee Jamboree stamp in average condition typically sells for $1 to $2. These are common in online marketplaces and auctions, especially if the postmark is clear but not overly aggressive. However, a mint condition stamp, meaning it is unused and retains its full original gum, can easily fetch between $5 to $10 depending on how well it is centered and preserved. If the stamp is superb, showing perfect centering, strong color, and clean perforations, it could be valued as high as $15 to $20, especially if sold through reputable dealers or auction platforms like Stanley Gibbons, eBay, Delcamp, or through private philatelic exhibitions. The value can increase dramatically if the stamp is part of a special presentation, such as a first-day cover or an official Scout commemorative envelope. These covers were often postmarked on the first day the stamp was issued, August 1, 1957, and many featured hand illustrations, signatures, or were distributed at Jamboree events. A high-quality first-day cover featuring the Jubilee Jamboree stamp can range from $10 to $40, with exceptionally rare or signed versions reaching prices of $50 or more. Complete stamp sheets or well-preserved souvenir folders can also command premium prices among thematic collectors, especially those who collect royal portraits, scouting memorabilia, or British Commonwealth stamps. What makes this stamp even more appealing to collectors in today's market is the combination of nostalgia, royal heritage, and youth movement history. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II and the continued global interest in her legacy, stamps from the early years of her reign have seen a noticeable increase in collector demand. Additionally, many adult collectors today were once scouts themselves, and they cherish such stamps for the sentimental and historical value they carry. This multi-generational appeal adds to the longevity of this stamp's value. Moreover, modern stamp collectors are more informed than ever, and with the global nature of buying and selling platforms, competition for high-grade examples is fierce. Many collectors from the United States, Canada, Australia, and across Europe actively seek this stamp, especially in mint blocks, pairs, or in beautifully displayed formats. To ensure maximum value from a stamp like the 1957 Jubilee Jamboree, it's vital to maintain proper storage and handling. If you are lucky enough to have this stamp in your collection, be sure to store it in a protective mount or acid-free sleeve, and avoid exposure to light, moisture, and air which can cause fading or deterioration. If you're considering selling, you may want to get it professionally graded or evaluated by a dealer for an accurate appraisal. Even if you're not selling now, understanding its potential worth in the years ahead can help you plan for the future of your collection or estate. In conclusion, the 1957 Jubilee Jamboree 4D stamp is much more than a piece of old postage. It is a powerful emblem of mid-century British pride, royal influence, and international unity. Today, its value in dollars may range from just a few bucks for a used version to upwards of $50 or more for high-grade, mint, or commemorative covers. Its true value, however, lies in its rich legacy and the timeless story it tells. For collectors who appreciate stamps not just as paper artifacts but as tiny windows into the past, this stamp is truly a treasure. Next up, the 2½ Red Queen Elizabeth II stamp. This beautifully designed red stamp features a youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, framed by laurel branches, the British crown jewels, and the words, postage revenue. While it may look like a common definitive stamp, its legacy, printing variations, and place in British philatelic history give it a unique charm that continues to attract stamp collectors from around the world. Today, we're going to uncover how much this stamp is worth in today's market in US dollars, and why it deserves a spot in your collection. Issued during the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, this 2½ red stamp was part of the Wilding series, a definitive set named after photographer Dorothy Wilding, whose portrait of the Queen was used on British stamps from 1952 to 1967. The red 2½ stamp you see today is a product of that series, symbolizing not just the daily utility of postage, but also the pride and stability of the newly crowned monarch. These stamps were printed in vast quantities and were a workhorse of the British postal system during the 1950s and early 1960s. Though they may appear common, many subtle factors, such as watermark types, phosphor banding, and printing methods, can greatly influence their collectability and market value. Now let's discuss the stamp's current value in today's collector market, especially converted into US dollars. A used copy of the 2½ Red Queen Elizabeth II stamp is generally considered common and can be found easily for around 10 cents to 50 cents USD depending on the quality of cancellation and condition. However, the story gets more interesting when we consider mint condition versions, plate blocks, or varieties. A mint condition stamp, one that's never been used and still retains its original gum, typically sells for about $1 to $2 US. If the stamp is in a pristine state with perfect centering and fresh color, its value may increase to $3 or even $5 US. Collectors are especially interested in varieties of this issue. For example, some versions were printed with different watermarks, such as the Tudor Crown watermark or St. Edward's Crown watermark, and these differences can sometimes push the value higher, especially when paired with phosphor bands used to help automate mail sorting in the 1960s. Some rare combinations, such as phosphor-coated paper or shifted perforations, have sold at auctions for $10 to $25 US or more, particularly when certified by philatelic experts. First-day covers, FDCs, complete booklet panes, or unique postmarks can also attract premium prices in specialized sales and among thematic collectors who focus on the Queen, crowns, or red definitive issues. While the 2½ red stamp is not among the rarest British stamps in the world, it carries significant historical and emotional value. It represents the dawn of a new era for Britain under Queen Elizabeth II's reign and marks a time when the country was rebuilding after World War II, with a new monarch inspiring unity and hope. Its daily use across millions of letters and postcards makes it a true symbol of communication and connection, which is why even common issues like this one are held dear by those who appreciate the stories behind the stamp. For collectors looking to invest in or preserve this stamp, condition is absolutely key. Avoid stamps with tears, heavy hinges, or excessive cancellation marks if you're aiming for investment-grade pieces. Always store your stamps in acid-free mounts, away from sunlight and humidity, and if you believe your stamp might be a rare variation, consult a trusted dealer or get it authenticated by a recognized philatelic body such as the Royal Philatelic Society London or Stanley Gibbons. These small details can make a big difference in determining both the monetary and historical value of your collection. In conclusion, while the 2½ Red Queen Elizabeth II stamp may not be a $1,000 rarity, it holds steady value in the market, with used stamps fetching under $1, and mint or variant examples ranging from $2 to over $20 US depending on condition and rarity. Its visual appeal, royal legacy, and role in the daily life of post-war Britain make it a must-have for both beginner and advanced collectors alike. It's more than a stamp, it's a reflection of a pivotal chapter in modern British history. Next up, the 1 shilling and 3 pence green coronation stamp featuring Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in full royal regalia. This stamp is more than just a piece of paper, it is a timeless emblem of British heritage, royal ceremony, and national pride. With a design that captures the majestic moment of the Queen's coronation in 1953, this stamp is a must-have for every serious collector of royal philately. Today, we are going to take a deep and comprehensive journey into this stamp's background, its design elements, printing history, and most importantly, its current market value in today's collector economy, especially in US dollars. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone new to the hobby, you are about to discover why this stamp holds a revered place in collections around the globe. The 1s 3D green coronation stamp was issued during the early 1950s, shortly after Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne following the death of her father, King George VI. Her coronation, held on June 2, 1953, was a monumental event that captured the attention of the world. It was the first British coronation to be fully televised, with over 27 million people watching the ceremony in the United Kingdom alone and millions more around the globe. The event marked the beginning of a new era for Britain and the Commonwealth, and it symbolized post-war recovery, continuity, and optimism for the future. To commemorate this historic moment, the British Post Office issued a series of special stamps, among which the 1 shilling and 3 pence green stands as one of the most visually powerful and regal. This stamp's design is nothing short of breathtaking. It features Queen Elizabeth II wearing the legendary St. Edward's crown, dressed in the royal coronation robes, and holding the scepter with the cross in one hand and the orb of sovereignty in the other, two of the most important symbols of royal power and governance. The background is richly patterned with Gothic-inspired motifs that evoke the architecture of Westminster Abbey, the location of the coronation itself. On either side of the Queen's image, the denomination 1/3 is clearly displayed, flanked vertically by the words postage and revenue, indicating the stamp's dual role in both mail and tax purposes. This dark green color, often referred to as deep emerald in philatelic catalogs, adds a touch of royal solemnity and elegance to the overall appearance, making it one of the most striking stamps of Queen Elizabeth's early reign. Now let's shift focus to what every collector wants to know: the current market value of this historic stamp in today's stamp economy, especially expressed in US dollars. As with all collectible stamps, value depends heavily on condition, rarity, presentation, and demand. A used example of the 1s 3D coronation stamp, meaning it has been postmarked and circulated through the postal system, can typically be purchased for around $1 to $3, provided it is in decent condition with a clean cancellation and intact edges. If the postmark is particularly clear or from a historically significant location, such as Westminster Abbey or a coronation event site, the value may climb slightly higher. However, things get much more interesting when we consider mint-condition stamps, especially those that remain and used with original gum and no hinge marks. A well-preserved mint example can sell for $10 to $20, depending on how well-centered the image is and how strong the color remains. A stamp with flawless gum, perfect centering, and brilliant ink saturation may even fetch $25 to $40 in auctions or through specialized dealers. Collectors often seek out corner blocks, plate blocks, or full sheets, all of which command premium prices. A block of 4 mint 1s 3D stamps from the original sheet, particularly with marginal markings or plate numbers, could be worth $60 to $100 or more, depending on overall condition. One of the most valuable formats of this stamp is the first-day cover, commonly referred to as an FDC. These covers were postmarked on the exact day of issue, typically June 3, 1953, following the coronation, and often included commemorative cachets or illustrations related to the event. A clean and well-preserved first-day cover bearing the 1s 3D coronation stamp can be worth $30 to $75, depending on the design, postmark location, and whether it includes additional stamps from the same series. Some of these FDCs were signed by royal officials or produced in limited quantities, pushing their value even higher. In rare cases, collectors have discovered presentation folders or souvenir booklets that were issued to dignitaries and guests at the coronation, which include this stamp among others. These rare items can be valued at $100 to $250 or more, depending on the documentation and packaging that accompany them. We must also mention the significance of printing variations, which play a major role in increasing value. Philatelists are known to search for tiny differences such as watermark shifts, perforation errors, color variations, and even printing flaws. For example, a misaligned perforation or a faint printing smudge could turn a $20 stamp into a $200 rarity. These anomalies are rare, but they do exist and have been documented in specialized philatelic journals. If you suspect your stamp may feature one of these rare variations, it's highly recommended to get it professionally appraised by recognized experts or organizations like Stanley Gibbons, Spink, or the Royal Philatelic Society London. Beyond financial value, this stamp holds enormous historical and emotional value. It symbolizes a period of profound transition, from the devastation of the Second World War to the hopeful emergence of a new sovereign with global appeal. Queen Elizabeth II would go on to become the longest reigning monarch in British history. And stamps like the 1s3D green coronation issue are powerful reminders of her early years and the promises of stability she offered to the world. For collectors of royal memorabilia, British Empire history, or coronation ephemera, this stamp is an irreplaceable treasure that connects past to present in a deeply meaningful way. To preserve the value and legacy of this stamp, always ensure proper storage in acid-free albums, climate-controlled environments, and protective mounts. Never handle valuable stamps with bare fingers, use stamp tongs to avoid damage. If you're building a collection around Queen Elizabeth II, this stamp should be one of the crown jewels of your portfolio. It is not just a piece of mail history, it is a historical document, a visual proclamation of royalty, and a collectible that will only grow in cultural importance with time. Thank you for watching this special extended episode of Stamps Old World UK. If you've enjoyed learning about the 1s3D green coronation stamp, and want more in-depth stamp profiles, royal history features, and up-to-date collector values, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post weekly content designed to educate, inspire, and connect stamp lovers from around the world. Let us know in the comments if you own this stamp, or if there's a rare piece from your collection you'd like us to feature. Until next time, keep your albums full, your history alive, and your passion strong, because every stamp tells a story, and here at Stamps Old World UK, we help you uncover every word.